A Florida man is arrested for trying to buy a child again. The Botox Bandit strikes in Jacksonville. A Florida couple tried to sell Joe Biden's daughter's diary. And a Florida woman does an Irish folk dance during a field sobriety test. These are the weird stories for Friday on Weird AF News, the only daily weird news podcast hosted by a comedian inside a hot closet, and the only daily weird news podcast that does Florida Fridays. That's right. Only weird news from our favorite state today, Florida. Yes, you're welcome. A Florida man tried to buy another child. This guy can't stop trying to buy children, according to the police. Who is this Florida man? You should know up top, he's a registered sex offender, of course. Florida men are often offenders of something. This guy's a sex offender. It's pretty specific. A lot of Florida people are just general offenders. You're just offended by their presence, usually. Perhaps their smell. Perhaps the fact that they don't wear pants that often. That's pretty offensive. This guy tried to buy a child that he saw in a Walmart store. Yeah. Because apparently he doesn't realize Craigslist exists. Don't you know, sir? You buy children on Craigslist, not Walmart, sir. Although a Florida Walmart, who knows? Maybe you can pick up kids. He's had success before, perhaps. That's why he continues to go back to the Walmart. There's desperate parents in Walmart is what I'm saying. And screaming children plus desperate parents in the same space, sometimes you could just convince them to sell their child to you. This guy tried to buy a child 4 years ago for $200,000. He's back behind bars accused of offering to buy another child. So the original offense was in a Walmart 4 years ago. He gets out of jail. He's, I can't wait to get back out there and buy kids. Just going to continue my child buying business. His name is Helmut Kolb. Helmut? He must be a German. His name is Helmut. The Germans like to name their citizens after accoutrements you wear on your head. Helmet. This is my friend Helmut and my friend Sombrero. This guy's 85 years old. Wow. Well, no one wants to make a baby with this 85-year-old. He's got to get his children somewhere, guys. He's 85. He was arrested for violating his probation after he allegedly offered to buy an 8-year-old girl from her mother in a Winn-Dixie store. So he's always going to grocery stores or gas stations. That's his thing. So part of his probation is, Helmut, please don't try to buy any children at convenience stores or grocery stores or Walmarts. If you could do that, then you won't violate your probation. Can you do that? Can you not offer to buy children in stores, Helmut? I think I can. I think I can do it. Definitely for a day. I don't know if I could last a week, man. I just want to buy kids, man. The police report says that Helmut told the child's mother how pretty the child was. Ah, yes, you have such a very beautiful child. Perhaps you could tell me how much. I will offer you $200,000. How about that? Okay, so out in the parking lot, he yelled at the mother that he would buy the child for $100,000. She was like, $100,000? You offered someone $200,000 4 years ago. Duh, inflation. This child is worth now $400,000. I love how he yelled it in the parking lot. How much for the kid? Walking after her, the sound of carriages. How much for the kid? Says here, back in Helmut's original arrest in 2018, he grabbed a girl who was sitting with her mother, kissed her wrist, and started bidding on her. You have a very beautiful daughter. I'm going to start the bidding at $20,000. Do I get $20,000? $20,000. How about $30,000? $30,000. $40,000. Will you take $40,000 for the kid? $40,000. No. $50,000. $50,000. I'm not going to go higher than $50,000. Okay, $60,000. I'm going $60,000. $200,000, lady. Come on, be reasonable. Yay! The Botox Bandit has struck in Florida again. Jacksonville, also known as Cracksonville. All right, that joke's getting old. The Cracksonville Beach Police Department is searching for a Botox Bandit. They're actually calling it a Botox Bandit. According to the police report, a woman received a medical procedure at the Jacksonville Beachbody Aesthetic Wellness, and then she left without paying for the services. There's a lady in the story, Melinda. She's the owner and the CEO of the med spa. She told the media that the woman, who the police identified as Monica Dariu, used a fake name to receive some Botox and some fillers. The cost of the total services was $2,500. She Botoxed and dashed. Is that a thing? Yeah. Filler and dash? What do you call it? Fake face dash? The report stated that Monica had a male accomplice. After the procedure was completed on her face, Monica told the doctor that the man with her would be paying for all of these services, but then his credit card was immediately declined. Yeah, he's a Florida man. Of course his card was declined. Duh. According to the report, the man said he needed to go out to the car to get another credit card, but the two jumped in the car and drove off. Oh, it's my second credit card scheme. They tried that old trick. Oh, let me get the other credit card in my car. Yeah, because I can only hold one credit card in my wallet, one at a time. The other one's in the car. I got to go get it. And they take off. It's the oldest trick in the book. Well, everything seemed to work out, though. This Botox Bandit is still on the loose. The police need help. They can't find her. I'm looking at a picture of her. It looks like the Botox Bandit is a bit active. Looks like she's had a lot of Botox. You know, when someone's had too much, it's just a little bit... you want to tell them, like, hey, just, maybe lay off the face thing. But you never do. No. You just talk about them behind their back, right? Like, can you believe her face doesn't move anymore, Larry? Well, why don't you tell her face doesn't move anymore? Aren't you a good friend? I can't tell her that. A good friend wouldn't tell her that, okay? But I have to tell you, I'm struggling to find, when I'm in her presence, like, gauge what mood she's in, because her face doesn't move. You learn a lot from someone's mood by, how the face changes. I can't tell if she's upset or happy. Wow, her eyes are very wide these days. They're very wide. They're scaring me. I'm not going to tell her, though. A Florida man and woman are guilty in trying to sell Joe Biden's daughter's diary. It's a very convoluted title. Let's unpack this story. Two Floridians we have here. They have pleaded guilty in a scheme to sell a diary that belonged to U.S. President Joe Biden's daughter to a conservative group. Okay. I would imagine a conservative group would pay to get President Joe Biden's daughter's diary because maybe in there she's talking about her father's discretions. Maybe she's talking about his relationship with Russia. Maybe she's talking about the fact that he's taking bicycle lessons right now to get better at riding a bike. Or maybe it's boring as shit. Maybe it's just chili recipes she's trying out off of YouTube. I'm working on this white chicken chili right now. How disappointing. You pay all this money for a diary and it's just, so I'm trying to perfect this chili and I think I might move on to salsa. Oh, I'm really loving these tomatoes I've been growing in my personal garden at home. These two Floridians who were caught, they pleaded guilty to conspiracy to commit interstate transportation of stolen property. Well, they make that sound pretty terrible. That's how they give you more years in the clink. In the clink, guys, that's what they call it. Ashley Biden, it's her diary. She stored the diary, tax records, a digital device with family photos, and a cell phone. These are all part of the cachet of personal items they had, not just the diary. Tax records, that's important. Family photos, ooh, those could be scandalous. And a cell phone. Yeah, cell phones are pretty potent. It's probably text messages between her and her pops. But is it about Russian secrets? What could it be? Or is it just like messages from her like, Dad, stop riding bicycles, all right? And start drinking more kale smoothies like I told you. What's wrong with you? You're getting slower. Did you get that mind enhancer chemical that I sent you? I think it's called ginkgo biloba. Did you take your ginkgo biloba, Dad? Take it. They said that the woman stole these items and got in touch with the other defendant. They asked for photos of the material, and then they paid for the two of them to bring it to New York. Okay. They were driving it all the way to New York. Now, apparently, the conservative group that bought the diary, They identified themselves as a news organization, and they claimed that they turned the diary over to law enforcement and never did anything illegal. That's because they probably found out there was nothing in the damn thing. We're supposed to believe he didn't read it first and then turned it over to the authorities. I love the idea of this conservative organization getting a hold of the diary and be like, all right, guys, this could be game-changing, what's in this diary. And then they open it up, and it's just like, my dog Crippy is really acting up these days. Sheesh. A Florida woman does an Irish folk dance during a roadside sobriety test. This story takes place in our favorite county. Pinellas County, bro! Pinellas County Sheriff's Office released some video. The footage shows a Florida woman performing multiple ballet dance moves and some Irish folk dance moves as well. This all took place during a roadside field sobriety test. The deputies say that Amy Harrington, age 38, of Madera Beach, Florida, rear-ended a vehicle roughly 1 mile from her home. When the deputies arrived, they say that Amy showed several signs of impairment, including some bloodshot, watery, and glassy eyes, as well as dilated pupils. They asked Amy to walk the line. She, quote, struggled to follow instructions on how to walk in a line. She was very unsteady on her feet. She almost fell down, according to the arrest documents. Here's a photo of her. She's quite lovely. And I watched the video. She's got some pretty nice dance moves. In the video, you can see the deputy administering what's called a field sobriety test. Those are something that happen 10 times an hour in Florida. You can hear the deputy asking Harrington to walk the line. The deputy says, do you want to pay attention so I can give you the instructions? To which the Florida lady says, yeah, well, you sound like my ballet coach. That's what Harrington said before taking 5 steps on the line and then immediately transitioning into some very complicated ballet sequence. She was doing some ballet moves, some spins and whatnot, pirouettes. That wasn't the exercise I was demonstrating, says the deputies. I'm acting this out for you. Without responding, Harrington then leaped into a ballet/Irish folk hybrid dance. The sheriff's office says that Amy Harrington, the Florida lady with all these dope dance moves, later refused testing. I assume that means breathalyzer-related testing. This marked the second time she refused to test at a separate incident in Pinellas County in 2019. Of course, she was arrested for driving under the influence with property damage and refusing to submit to a testing. You got to really hand it to this Florida lady, though. She knows what she's doing. She's trying to get out of an arrest by showcasing her talents. Usually they offer to unzip the deputy's pants and show their talents that way. So she was just trying to show him some dance moves. I often try to get out of being ticketed by using my talent of, a creator of jokes. It doesn't seem to work with these police, I've found. Not in L.A. anyways. So I'm going to have to work on that. You like podcasts? You're listening to my podcast. Maybe you thought to yourself, I'd like to make a podcast. Too difficult. No, not with Anchor. Anchor has free creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast from your phone or your computer. Anchor distributes your podcast to Apple, Spotify, Stitcher, and more. They have advertising integration, so you can even make a little money off your podcast. Everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. And good luck with your podcast. Good luck with your creation. Good luck with your life, man. You made it. You made it all the way to the outro. Congratulations to you. I want to thank you for spending some time with me today. And I hope you have a lovely weekend, or you're having one, or you already had one. I wish all these things for you. I want to thank everyone who sent me Florida stories for this stupendous Hall of Fame Florida Friday episode. Thank you guys for doing that. You can always send me things to funnyjones@gmail.com. That's where I'm at. If you want to call the show, the number is 646-450-2012. I'm going to publish a couple phone calls at the end of this. Shout out to Lily in Dallas for calling in. Appreciate it. I got a nice email from Grace. She wrote, News Thursday. I think the Australian school is a special needs school, Jonesy. The spanking. I live in the Florida Panhandle. Yes, they paddle in the Bible Belt. She says, I love Florida Fridays. Most of the news is down south because we are basically Alabama. There's actually a bar called the Floribama. Have you heard of that? The Floribama? Look at Grace. Totally educating us on Florida lifestyles. I'd like to go to the Floribama bar for sure. I'm going to wear a bulletproof outfit if I go there because I'm not stupid. Grace says, I love your show, Jonesy. Thank you, Grace. I love your email. That's why I read it, and I appreciate that very, very much. If you guys would like to support the show by keeping Jonesy caffeinated, then please consider the Patreon. That'd be very gracious of you if you did. You could begin by just buying Jonesy a cup of coffee a month. That's pretty cool, right? Very easy to do. Just go to patreon.com/WeirdAFNews or download the Patreon app on your phone and do a search for Weird AF News. I'm the only game in town, all right? Or just go to weirdafnews.com and click on the Patreon banner as well. Once again, I'll just keep this brief because I know your time is precious. Please reach out to me over the weekend if you have any concerns. You have the ways that you can get a hold of me, as always. If you just want to say hi, I welcome that too. You can also slide into my DMs on Instagram at FunnyJones. All right, take care of yourself. We'll see you Monday.
Yay!
Hey, Jonesy, it's Lily. I've just called. I haven't called in a while. I miss you, man. How's it going? Pretty good. So the sound from the black hole. First of all, you got me. That was pretty funny when you played the song first. That was a good prank, man. You got me. You had me going. But yeah, I think that, science is wasting their money. You're right about nut allergies. You're right. There's plenty of other things that, science can be fixing or curing or working on. Have you heard of what they call NTD, neglected tropical diseases? Yeah, so it's this group of diseases that they're neglected because science doesn't care about them because they mostly affect poor people in, underdeveloped nations. And so we as Americans, we don't care because we've solved hookworm and smallpox and these things in our own country, but we don't care enough to go help, people in Africa or the Caribbean or South America with them. So yeah, neglected tropical diseases. Look into it, man. It's a shame that we just have forgotten all about that. And then the other thing I think is a shame is that we spend, or I would say we waste so much money on space travel. I mean, going to the moon, yeah, I know we had to beat the Soviets or whatever, but woohoo, 40 years later, who freaking cares? It's just all Cold War BS and it's over. It doesn't matter anymore. And what I think is a shame is that 80% of the world's oceans are completely unexplored. We have no idea what's down there. The megalodon shark could be real. There could be real sea monsters or dinosaurs or, giant squid. There could be all kinds of stuff in the ocean. So we have no idea because we're wasting all of our money learning about what black holes sound like and sending telescopes out into space for no reason. What's the point of a space telescope to take pictures? It doesn't matter. Solve food allergies, solve tropical diseases, explore the world's oceans, prevent reverse climate change. That's what we need to focus on. Just scientists, get it together, man. Anyway, I love you, Jonesy. Keep it up and good luck with your life, man.
Hey, Jonesy, Dallas from Minnesota. I know it's been a long time, but my world has been kind of all over the place since the last time I have called in. I wanted to comment on yesterday's show where you were talking about the person the parents thought were a trans kid. Now, I might have missed it in the article when you said it, but it almost sounded like the kid was pretty much in the same school system. Nobody came up and said, hey, I've known her since kindergarten. I know that she's a female. I mean, that just seems really odd. Because most most of children who are transforming, first of all, they definitely look that they are a boy and not a girl, but it's very uncommon to have parents dress their kids up from before kindergarten all the way up and make everyone believe that they are this other gender. It just seems really, really odd to me. I mean, I am one who I don't think that someone who was born a male should be able to compete with women. I think women should stand against that because it's unfair. But, in a case like this, I just can't believe that they were that dumb and not to realize that this person has been female all along. No other student really wanted to come up, or was this all behind the scenes and the students never said anything? It just really seems completely crazy to me, and I think this world is going completely nuts. Talk to you later, Jonesy.